Military service requires a great deal of sacrifice, which has been exemplified by many men and women who have paid the ultimate price throughout history. My name is Joshua Dongermont, and as an Air Force member, I believe that the heritage of our service is very important to shaping our future. Today, I would like to talk about a man who has left a distinguished mark upon our Air Force, Medal of Honor winner William Hart Pitsenbarger. I'll begin with a quick history of his life leading up to the events which earned him the nation's highest military honor, to include his military aspirations and also his training. I will also describe the heroism he displayed on the day that he died and the many lives that he saved that day. The last thing I would like to touch on is the mark that he left on our military service and the standard that he set for us all, his successors, to strive to attain. Since he proved to be such an influence on our culture, let's take a look at how it all began. William Hart Pitsenbarger was born July 8, 1944 in a small town in Ohio. He was obviously not born a heroic pararescueman. In fact, as a child, Airman Pitsenbarger had aspirations of quitting school and joining the Army of all branches to become a Green Beret. After his parents refused to allow him to do so, he completed high school and set his sights on becoming a pararescueman in the United States Air Force. On December 31st, 1962, in the heat of the Vietnam conflict, William Pitsenbarger enlisted in the United States Air Force and began his training as a pararescueman. After excelling in his training, he was stationed at Bien Hoa Air Base outside of Saigon, where he proved to be a very proud and capable pararescueman. While he was stationed there, he received an abundance of experience by completing nearly 300 dangerous missions as a pararescue jumper. Throughout all of these missions, Airman Pitsenbarger distinguished himself as a courageous hero, but it was on his last mission that he earned national recognition and a place in the history books. On April 11th, 1966, his unit was dispatched to aid the United States Army, which had a unit taking heavy casualties near Cambrai. When his helicopter came over the firefight, it became obvious that there would be much difficulty extracting the casualties without sending at least one crew member down to the ground. Anxious to prove himself and get close to the action, he eagerly volunteered to be that crew member. Airman Pitsenbarger was lowered to the action and immediately began evacuating wounded soldiers. When the helicopter took fire and could no longer maintain its position, he stayed to assist his comrades rather than evacuate with his crew. He continued to provide assistance and additional fire for his fellow comrades until he was killed later that evening by small arms fire. His heroism saved the lives of at least 9 soldiers and set a standard of excellence for the men and women of the armed services to follow. For his courageous actions, he was awarded the Air Force Cross. After his death, he was the first enlisted airman to receive such an award. After further consideration, he was awarded the Medal of Honor and promoted to the rank of Staff Sergeant, both posthumously. His father accepted the Medal of Honor on his behalf in a ceremony on December 8th, 2000. In his honor, many military and civilian institutions have been named. His heroism has set an example not just for current and future pararescuemen to follow, but one to remind us all in our nation's service of his ultimate sacrifice and the precedent he set for how we should conduct ourselves as military professionals. I hope that today's presentation has taught us all a little bit about one of our nation's treasures, about his beginnings, about his dedicated military service, and about his commitment and sacrifice, and what it has meant to the people of the United States Armed Services today and in the future. Thank you.